Good morning, students, and welcome to the second 6 weeks officially. Sorry we can't be in person, those of you that were used to being in class, but it is what it is. I want to take some time to talk to you about the new way that we are going to be doing missions. For the most part, there are a few times where we won't do this way, but this will explain the majority of the way from here on out for the rest of the year. Essentially, what I've done is create different pathways based on your needs and what you've shown me that you know or don't necessarily know right off the bat. And so this is what these paths are going to be looking like. The first path is called the Engage path. And I use the picture of the warp core, which is the way that a Star Trek starship engine is run. It's the power source. And so when you see this picture anywhere, it's referring to this particular pathway. When you engage something, you get it started, you begin. And so everyone will start here in this path. And what you're used to doing with notes, filling in diagrams and notes, will be the majority of this path. You'll also have a vocabulary game after the notes to just refresh those vocab words in your brain. Make sure you're understanding them and are familiar with those words. These together will be worth 1 daily grade. So when you start the notes for the skeletal system, you may notice they're only worth 10 points. It's because they're going to add all up together with the vocab game to make 1 daily grade. Now, when you finish the notes and the vocab game, you will take a quiz. It's called the Pre-Mission Launch that I've written right here. And the results of that quiz will determine which path you'll be taking for the rest of the unit or the mission. It will be 20 questions. This one will be. It is timed, and you can't use notes or other websites. Stay on the website, stay on the Canvas site while you take your quiz. And I do know how to read Canvas such that I know if you do get off the other website. So please stay on the website. It's not graded. This is not a grade. I want to see what you know and remember from the notes and diagrams. So now that you have done that, let me show you the different pathways you can take. The reboot path is one particular path you'll take if you score between a 0 and a 50 on the pre-mission launch. I use this icon because in Star Trek, one of the main characters is an android called Data, and many times he would have to reboot. They'd have to reboot his system because some issue happened or he didn't remember something. And so his brain, the type of brain he had was a positronic brain. So that's why I use this icon. If you ever see this, it's referring to the reboot path. This is basically a redo, some different activities to help you refresh your mind. Maybe there's something you didn't understand before, and now you can by doing another vocab game, and it'll usually be through quizzes, and then some vocabulary task cards. You'll answer these on a Google slide, and then you'll put the answers to those will be your reboot requiz, which is essentially taking the place of the pre-mission launch, and that will be your way into the next pathway if you pass it. It will be about 14 questions for this unit. It could vary. It will not be timed, and you can use your task cards. If you don't pass this one, then you and I will have a tutoring session, either in person or via Zoom or phone or whatever. Once you do the tutoring session or you pass the quiz, then you'll get a secret code that allow you to join up into the next path, which is the Echo path. If you didn't have to do the reboot path and you went straight here, if you score between a 50 and an 80 on the pre-mission launch. these activities will reinforce what you know and hopefully increase your knowledge as well. But you're basically replicating the information that you've taken in during the notes and the vocab review, and you're putting that information in the form of an output to me. It could be labeling more diagrams, or just a lab activity or another type of vocabulary. And so it's just a variety of activities. It just depends on the mission, what that could be. But from these activities you do, you will earn 2 daily grades and 1 lab grade from there. These activities are designed to prepare you for the mission project, which is the end of the mission. The replicator on Star Trek is a machine they use to duplicate and make things that they already know about or that they already have. So if you want a cup of coffee, go to the replicator and get your cup of coffee. You need a piece of material for the ship, something small, you can go to the replicator and it'll make a copy for you. So you're copying information. At the end of this path, then you'll take a quiz, which I call the mission debrief, to make sure you understand the material. It may be the exact same one that you took, the pre-mission launch, or it may be a little different. But this is just making sure you're not just flipping through the activities and doing them for the sake of doing it, but you're actually understanding the material. If you pass, then you will be taken to the mission project page. If you do not, then you will have a tutoring session with me. Now, let's say you make an 80 to 100 on the pre-mission launch, then you will not do this path. You will do this one instead, the employee path. Whenever in Star Trek, the people, as they move around, go to different planets or go to different locations, they can use a machine called the transporter that will take them to these different places. And this is where they actually are going and doing things. They're applying whatever they have to a situation. And so that's what this pathway is a means of applying the information you've done and that you already have because you've scored well on this quiz, and doing some application activities. This will be a reading, and you'll have a choice of articles to read. You could possibly label some diagrams or do a lab. So very similar to the Echo Path, but a little more application because you are already at the level of understanding from prior knowledge, or you just really studied well for your pre-mission launch. You will also receive 2 daily grades and 1 lab grade. So as far as grades are concerned, when I put stuff in Aspen, it will show daily grade 1, daily grade 2, or lab grade 1, etc. There won't be a specific title because you're doing different activities. So to do the least amount of stuff, you need to score the highest on the pre-mission launch. So if that's your thing, then study for it. Okay, when you get to the end of the Echo or employee path, then you'll be taken to the mission project. So all students will complete a project. This is your major grade for the mission, and you always have 3 choices at least from which to pick your project. So here's the key. Don't waste time early on in the mission. I have gone through the notes, especially for this one. I've already gone through all the notes videos and pretended like I was you and took the quizzes, within Edpuzzle, and I had time to do all of the videos and the vocab review within one class period, an hour and a half. So don't waste time. Several people got in trouble or realized with the first 6 weeks that, your grade is going to reflect what you do. This stuff won't go away. I said that before. You're going to have to do it. And so Don't waste time because you're going to get in a bind. You're going to be, if you don't waste time, you'll have a couple of days in class to work on the project. I don't, I know you don't like homework, but if you waste time in class or if you do other classwork in my class, then you're going to run out of time and you're going to have to do it for homework. If you don't do it for homework, you're not going to get it done and you're going to fail. It's just simple as that. So I just want to encourage you to don't waste time. All right, so that's how the missions will go from here on out, with a few exceptions. And so I think this will be something you'll enjoy. It's kind of designed differently for you to learn the best way that you can. And it also will free me up with is not as much grading and things to really be able to help you individually and really help you progress through the mission so that you can learn the best way possible for you. Don't forget to do your roll call today. You may notice that I've placed them on the homepage. I will change the homepage every other day when you have a new time, a new day for me. And so be sure you click on the announcements every day, the short video. This is long because I was explaining this, but from here on out, the announcements will be short and will be reminders for you to do that. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank y'all and see you soon.